Hello everyone, my name is Mudassir Naeem and today I will give you a short introduction of Zemax Optics Studio. Zemax is basically a design and simulation software for optical system. By using Zemax you can design any kind of optical system, and with that also you can simulate a different parameter to check whether the design system is efficient enough or not. By using Zemax Optics Studio you can design different system, but there are certain limitation. It has two modes basically. One is a sequential mode and other one is non-sequential mode. In sequential mode there are certain limitation. The ray will be traces from surface to surface and the ray will interact with the one surface at a time, and beside that the ray will interact with the surfaces according to the order you have defined in this lens data editor window. The lens data editor window is basically a window in which you define all of the components that you are using in your design, but keeping in mind that the order of those components with which the ray will interact. As you can see in lens data editor window, there are objects. This is basically the source from where the rays are originating or the lights are coming. It can be a object or can be a light source. You can define it according to your use. Then these are the surfaces. Here this is the basically surfaces with which the incoming light from this object will interact. And the last one is the image, which is basically a detector. It will give you the last it is the basically last surface on which the light will fall and you will get the result. Beside that you can define more, insert more surfaces here by just clicking the insert like this, and you can define different components here. But keep in mind that all of the components you have defining must be in order according to your design. Because the light will interact with the first surface and then second and then third according to the order. If you define the second surface and the third one, then the ray will did not interact with the third one first and then second. So it means you need to define the order of the components and their parameter also here in this table. Here you can see first is the object. This is basically the light source, so you can define it as a standard, or by clicking on it you can check various options here. So according to your choice, but it will be just the source of light, nothing else than that. After that, this is the comment column. In here you can name your component according to your choice, like you want to call it a source or whatever. This is the radius. If you defining a spherical component, then it must have some radius of curvature, and according to that it must have some focal length. So you need to define the radius of curvature of spherical components here. If you are using a plane component or a source, then you do not need to define the radius, so you will keep it infinity. Infinity means the component or the source is basically plane source, so that's why it need to be plane infinity. If you define here any radius of curvature, according to that the component will act as a spherical component. Then another column is thickness. Here thickness is not the thickness of the component. The thickness is basically the distance between the current component and the upcoming component. It means how much light will travel before interacting with the next of the component or the optical system, whatever you define here. This is the glass. Glass is basically show you whether your component is a refracting type or reflecting type or absorbing. So you need to define it here. If you are using a transparent medium, then you don't need to define anything here. But if you are using a mirror or something else, then you need to define it here, like it is a BK7 or NBK7. Define the glass. If you are using a reflecting type material, then you just need to write here mirror, so it will act like a reflecting type component. This is the semi-diameter. Semi-diameter column is basically the size of this optical component. Whatever the size is, you can define it here, so it will be placed on the position where you define according in the thickness. Conic section is not important here. One more thing is that you need to define the sequence. If you define the sequence incorrectly, your system will not work correctly. Beside that, there are a number of buttons are available. Here you can see this is the general. In general, the main thing is the component units. What are the units you are using in your system, like while you are defining your system, you just putting here number. You need to define the units of the all of the component parameters, which can be millimeter, centimeter, inches, meter, whatever you want to define. So you can choose it from here. Then if you want to measure the energy or a power in watt or joule or lemon, you can define it from here. So I'm just taking as a watt, and then per centimeter or per inch, whatever you want to choose according to your suitability, you can click it here. Then a focal, these are not that many, but you need to define the length units of the in whether it is millimeter or centimeter. You need to define them here properly. Then beside this is the aperture. Here you can need to define the entrance pupil diameter, the size of basically the source, the size of the source that coming from the light from where come. And here I am defining 0.16. This is the entrance pupil diameter. Here you can see just here. Another one is the field. As we know, there can be different field in coming from the light source. So you need to define whether it is X field, Y field, or you want to define the rate with the different field angle. So you can define it here by clicking this tick one. You can define 3 field angle, 1x, second x, third x. So you can choose the field angle according to your choice. If you want to use a single field, X field and Y field, then you can simply click this one and this will happen. Now another important thing, what is the wavelength or the light wavelength of the light that is coming from this source? So you need to define it here. Here you can see the wavelength options. Here one is 0. Here you can see the wavelength is in micrometer. So you need to define it here. Here is a 0.55. You can go to 0.7 or whatever. It is basically in the visible range, so I'm taking in 0.7. If you want to take another wavelength, then you can choose the another one and you can define its wavelength here like 0.6, and then so on. How many? You can almost select 24 wavelengths at a time from the source. Besides that, if you are using a particular source like FDC, here you can see different option like helium neon source, argonine, Nd:YAG. So you can just simply select it from here as well, and when you select it, then the source will act as a Nd:YAG source. So it will emit a wavelength of 1.0641 nanometer, or otherwise you can also select any kind of source. I am selecting here this one. So now you can see I just click this. After defining the different parameter in this lens editor window, there are number of parameter will like 2D diagram. Here you can see the 2D diagram of your system. This is the 3D layout, and these are the shaded model. First we will just simply define something here to check whether system work correctly or not. First I will define the source. Source I will take a standard source, and then I just name it as source. So I know this first one is my source. I am taking and they take this with this as an infinity because my source is not a spherical, it is a simple light source. Then this is the thickness. Thickness is defined how much the ray will travel after the source to before interacting with the next component. So I am taking it here is 1 mm. I will take it 1 mm. The light will travel 1 mm and then interact with the next component. After you did not need to define the glass here. This is the size semi diameter, so you did not need to define the size because this is a point source. So I am just taking at 0.0 diameter. Standard. Now I want to place here a plano-convex lens, but I will use 2 plano-convex lens to focus the light on somewhere. So I will insert another row here. This is the standard one. I am taking a standard surface. I did not coat anything on it. If you want to coat something else, you can check here like even sphere, or sphere, paraxial, hologram, ABCD, different diffraction grading. So you can use them from here according to your choice, but I am just taking a simple surface to use it as a lens. Then I am defining its radius of curvature. Radius of curvature, from as we know, the focal length is half of the radius of curvature. So I will just simply define the radius of curvature according to the focal length of my component. I will take here simply 5 mm radius of curvature, so it will have 2.5 mm focal length. Then thickness, as I am using a 2 plano convex lens, so I will take this distance very small as 0.03. then I will just need to define the size of, or first I will define the size of my this component. I will define it as 0.3 mm just for example. Then it is I again taking a standard surface for the plano convex lens, and then I will define it as -5. This so it focal length will be -2.5 mm. Then I am defining the thickness, the how much length will travel before falling on this detector. So I am defining it here 2 mm. Let's suppose I suppose 2 mm is the distance that will travel, they will travel, and then the size of this lens is also 0.3. Then this is the image. Image is basically a detector on which the light will fall, and you will analyze your output result here. So I'm just taking a plane surface here, and then we did not define the thickness here because we want to stop the ray there. Not if you have any other component after this one, then you need to define the thickness here. Otherwise you did not need to define the thickness because you did not define any component after this one. Then after that I will just simply define the size of the detector, and this is I will say 0.3. okay, it's good. Now I need to define the interest pupil diameter, which I have defined 0.16 for example, and I am keeping the units, all of the units as millimeters. So all of these values are in like 5 millimeter, -5 millimeter, 2 millimeter, all of them are in millimeters. If you want to change the units, you can change it from here like centimeter or whatever you want to choose. Then wavelength, I want to take visible range, so I am defining here 3 wavelength like 0.5 micrometer, 0.6, and then another one is 0.7. so I'm just clicking it. Now you want to check your 3D layout of your design, so you need to just simply click on this. Here you can see the 3D layout of your, this is the source, and these first one is the first plano convex lens, and this is the second one, and this is the detector. Here you can see another this is the 3D. Here you can see, you can zoom it here, so you can see this is the first plano convex lens, this is the second one. I did not define the type of this plano convex lens, so it is acting as a transparent medium here. So I need to define the glass type here, so what or which material this lens is made of. So for that I can unzoom it here from like this. I'm just defining here the glass like BK7. You need to just write it here, so it will be act like this first one is will be act like a BK7. so I need to update it all. So you can see a little bit reflection but not that much. So I want to change the glass type. If you know the different glass types names, so you can write it here and apply it, but if you didn't know, then you simply double click on it. Here you can choose the model, this one. From here you can define the refractive index and abbreviative for the component which you are using. So I'm just let me define it like 6, then we will see what will happen. 29. Now I will update. Here you can see I just changed the property of this glass or glass of this lens, so you can see its focus point is changing according to that, because if I did not define this glass type, it will act as a transparent medium and the light will pass through it straight away. But here now I define the focal length of it, and beside that I also define its glass type, so they are focusing here due to this glass type. Now if you want to bring this detector here, so you can just simply change this thickness. I will take this thickness 1 mm, then update this one. Here you can see the detector is getting close to this focus point of this lens. If you have I will make it 0.8. Look, now the detector is exactly at the focus point of this lens. Now if you want to change the focus point of your lens, you can simply change its glass type. I am taking it at 4.5. then you need to update all to apply the changes on your design. You can see now the focus point is changed. So now I will just make it 2 mm. Let me see, 2 and then 2.1. Now here you can see the focus point is changed because of this glass type. So you can change the glass type according to your use. Now once your design is complete, you can check the spot diagram here or different parameter. First you need to go to this analysis. Then you first thing you need to check mostly is spot diagram of your the results. So here this is the standard spot diagram. Here you can see this is the spot diagram of your rays on the detector. The red one is 0.7 micrometer, the green one is 0.6 and 0.5 is the blue one. So this is the spot diagram of your system on the detector surface. So if you want to change this one, you can make changes according to your choice, like I make it 1.8. When I update this, you can see the spot diagram is changing. So you can change your system designing according to your requirement. After that, another important thing is you need to check the power and the spot size or beam size on the detector separately for each of the wavelengths. So you need to just go to this physical optics, then physical optic propagation, and here you can see this is the spot diagram for wavelength 0.5 micrometer, and this one is showing the irradiance. Irradiance is basically the power transfer per unit area to the detector surface from the source. From this you can go to settings and you can select any surface like 1, 2, 3 on which you want to check the spot diagram. So I'm just simply starting from surface 1 and going to the image. Now I'm checking the irradiance plot for the ray which is traveling from surface 1 to the image surface, and these are the wavelengths. You can check for every wavelength separately. Here this is the beam definition. Here you can increase your sampling. By increasing your sampling means you are increasing the resolution of your detector as well. So I'm just making it 256. This is the width of your detector. You can change it from here as well. This is the waste, etc. You can change the waste is basically the beam waste you are getting on the detector. You can change it from here, and this is the peak irradiance or total power. Whatever you want to measure, if you want to measure total power, just click on total power and set the maximum value of this power, which basically we take it 1, but you can make it 110, whatever you want to choose according to your system design. Then this is the peak irradiance. So I am just taking it as 5 is the peak irradiance of my system. So I just select that. Then this is the display. For display, this is a false color. False color means you will get this colorful spot from spot of this wavelength, and the surface mean it will give you on the surface view only. And this is the grayscale. It will show you the spot diagram in the form of grayscale, and some other options are also available here. I am just taking a false. This is the irradiance. If you want to check irradiance or X irradiance or phase, you can check it from here, simply just clicking on it. Now I'm just playing. Now I just set the now you can see I just moved the sampling, so you can see the exact spot size and different value according to it from here. Like this is the wavelength 0.5. Here you can see the Y height, peak radius for this spot, total power as well, plot size and waste as well, the waste of this beam spot for this particular wavelength. If you want to check for another wavelength, you can just simply go to the setting and select the another wavelength and then go to, and you can see now this is the 0.6 and the peak irradiance is 2.12 for it, and the other parameter are also there. So now with that you can see you can easily design any kind of your system by just defining its parameters here and then apply those changes, and you can also manipulate your system design according to your choice. So with that you can easily design optical system and then simulate it as well to check the efficiency of your system. So for today I think this is enough. If you have any question you can ask. Salman Ahmed is asking about the conic section. Conic section is basically when you are dealing with the conic shape like parabola, hyperbola like shapes or components, then you use this conic section. Otherwise it has no use here till now. But for simple system you do not need to define it, but if you are using a designing complex system in which you are using a conic parabola shape or different kind of shape like hyperbola shape component, then you need to define its conic section which has focus and some other parameter as well. Peak irradiance is basically the maximum irradiance of the current wavelength at the detector. The red one is basically the peak irradiance. Peak irradiance means the maximum irradiance you can get from your system at the output. With that you can define as well that it will basically normalize your peak irradiance. If you have a system irradiance is 100 and you want to normalize it to the 1, so you can just simply apply 1 here, so it will give you the irradiance in the range of 0 to 1. If anyone have some more question, you can ask. I think no one has any question, so thank you. Inshallah, soon we will meet in next section, and in that we will define and discuss about the non-sequential mode of ZMAX. So till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.